Hello, God bless you. I hope you've enjoyed the first two Stargate videos. Some of it's regurgitated information, but I wanted to put everything that I've learned kind of in a group, so I kind of redid some things. Now it's going to get kind of interesting. So I heard this last night in my spirit about the bands of Orion, loosing the bands of Orion. And we've already talked about the dog star Sirius, and I urge you to do your own research on that. Um, and just how the dog is connected to us, which I find it absolutely interesting, especially when you look at Islam and how Satan's religion really oppresses the dog and hates the dog. And then you start to see, but about the angel of the bottomless pit, and we know that he is the coming bull, in which I'll get into that when I start the Torah study. But then you have the pit bull and how there's pit fighting for dogs, and it's Satan's way of destroying what God has intended for us. And then of course you have the reference of the Wizard of Oz, and of course the witch is Satan, and I'll get you and your dog, which is your soul. Um, so anyway, this has just been a really interesting study for me. And I want to get to this, and I always found this interesting. Loose the bands of Orion. Well, I did a study a few weeks ago on Nimrod, and it's funny how the Lord puts everything together and then kind of shows you, in retrospect, what you've learned, and you're like, oh, he connects the dots. You're like, I can't really. That's just amazing how he does that. Well, loosing the bands of Orion, and I did this study, like I said, on Nimrod, and I'm going to be able to explain what this means, loosing the bands of Orion. This have always, kind of, I don't know, been in the back of my mind, I guess. The sweet influence of the Pleiades can now bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades, which we'll get into. This is where heaven's located, and these are the blessings, and it all goes back to Israel, the land of milk and honey, Milky Way, honey, the sweet influence. But anyway, we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's focus on this, and then of course this is the Mazzaroth is the zodiac, and of course this is from Job 38 when God is giving Job kind of a lesson on just who you are and and who God is and what He can do. Okay, a long time ago when I first started studying, the Lord let me do this eclipse right here. This was the first lunar eclipse. This wasn't in the tetrad. This was way before. This was 2010 and December 21st. It was both the winter solstice day and as well as um, when there was a major earthquake this day. But what happens with this lunar eclipse, it happens from this star to this star. And I've seen this before in the 2014, 2015 lunar eclipses. But it goes from boundary to boundary, which is just amazing. So we'll just take a quick look at this, and doesn't really want to show both. It doesn't want to stay centered on it, which is kind of a pain. But anyway, you can see right here, these are the two stars right here and right here of his club. And so it goes right there, and then it ends right there, right over his club. So I wanted to show you that. I have so much information sometimes I don't even know where to begin. But anyway, I wanted to show you that December 21st, 2012, and we're going to go to this article right here. If I can get this centered. And what essentially is it's talking about this eclipse, and this was back in 2013. On December 21st, 2010, a lunar eclipse appeared in North America continent on the winter solstice for a total of 72 minutes. We know a lot of people have been seeing this 72. An eerie red shadow darkened the moon, cast a red glow over America. Throughout history, this has been known as a lunar eclipse, blood moon, ominous sign, warning to God, Church, and Israel. The last time, this is pretty interesting, the last time this lunar eclipse occurred in this fashion was 372 years ago in the year 1638, when the American colonies were just forming. In fact, the lunar eclipse was on the winter solstice of December 21st, 1638, and was the first recorded astronomical event in the United States. Um, So just some pretty interesting stuff there. And then as we scroll down, it actually talks about, let's see here. All right, talks about Orion. And could this be a sign that the people of God could be soon be put to flight? We should note that Orion has, since ancient times, depicted as the mighty hunter. Okay, from the same root meaning of when Nimrod was said to be the mighty hunter before the Lord, not for the Lord, before the Lord. He was not a godly person. Okay, Betelgeuse, the second brightest star in Orion, is the ninth brightest star according to Wikipedia, and has an ancient meaning: the coming of the branch, which is the Messiah, the Christ, the man-child. The brightest star in Orion, Rigel devised the Arabic meaning of the left leg of the giant. From here, and where the her star Orion is situated in the eastern sky. Okay. Position the horns of the bull. Okay, and then right here. Could it be that God's fiery judgment is ready to be revealed, beginning first in the house of God? The number 72 found in the duration of the eclipse seems to be connected to the elect as 72 times 2, which equals 144. December 21st, 2010 was the darkest and shortest day for 372 years. When the full lunar eclipse takes place on the shortest day of the year, the planet may just get awfully dark. Okay, let's take a look at Orion in Wikipedia. Okay, here we go. Orion in Wikipedia. Obviously, hunter, Greek mythology. Talked about the stars. Okay, come down here. The Babylonian star catalogs of the late Bronze Age named Orion, the heavenly shepherd or true shepherd of Anu. This is very interesting. In the Bible, it says that there are two shepherds. There's the idle shepherd and the good shepherd. The idle shepherd, from what the Lord has told me, of course, is the beast. All right. The good shepherd is, okay, you have the idle shepherd, meaning idle as in idolatry, and you have idle as in lazy. Lazy meaning to get you to worship him, it's going to take the mark of the beast. He is going to change your DNA. He's going to change who you are. He is going to collect your worship in that sense. He doesn't work for your worship, as Jesus Christ did, who came, lived the perfect example for humanity to see, and died in a death that should not have happened. But God died and gained your worship that way. The idle shepherd, idle, once again meaning lazy, does nothing to gain your worship. It simply puts you in a position to where you feel that you might need to take that mark of the beast. Of course, don't, but that's the comparison I'm trying to bring up. So you have this heavenly shepherd or Anu. Well, what is Anu? We come up here to Wiki, and Anu is the sky father deity, all right, who's the prince and the power of the air. Satan, of course. He is also king of the gods, lord of the constellations, spirits, and demons. Supreme ruler, kingdom of heaven, where Anu himself wandered the highest heavenly regions. Okay, this is obviously a satanic reference of who this Anu is. Okay, so we're starting to see just exactly what Orion is supposed to portray and who he is and what he is in this constellation. And what I'm submitting to you is we have to go through this hunter. We have to go through this beast, just as in Exodus, when the Israelites went through or over or under the burdens of Egypt from the Pharaoh, and then they went to the Red Sea, and of course the Red Sea parted. Here's the biblical references right here. The Bible mentions Orion 3 times, naming it Kisil, literally meaning fool. What about the name Nimrod? What does the name Nimrod mean? Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? All right, so Nimrod also means fool. You can see that here, right here. Nimrod, hunter, informal, person regarded as silly, foolish, or stupid. Of course, there's other. Biblical. So Nimrod was the first world dictator, the first world antichrist. What has been done will be done again. There's no new thing under the sun. He comes from Cush, who was the son of Ham, who was on the ark, who was a great-grandson of Noah. Once again, mighty hunter before the Lord, and Orion is the mighty hunter. The what I want to get into with Nimrod was what was taken upon the ark, which I found very interesting as it fits with the belt of Orion. Can you loosen the bands of Orion? Now, if we go to the book of Jasher, it states something very interesting. And we go here, and we found out that the skins right here, according to this book, which God made for Adam and his wife, they went out of the garden and were given to Cush after the death of Adam and his wife. They were given to Enoch, Jared, and they go all the way to the ark. Ham stole those garments from Noah, and he gave them to his son Cush. And then Cush concealed them from his brothers and his sons, and when he had Nimrod, he gave those garments to Nimrod. And when Nimrod grew up, he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments, and God gave him might and strength, and he was a mighty hunter in the earth. And when Nimrod was 40 years old, at the time there was war between his brothers and his children of Japheth. Then it goes on and talks about how Nimrod fights his brothers and ancestors. Conquered his enemies, all his brothers, and he was made king over them. So these garments, these skins that were taken on the ark, according to the book of Jasher, which is referenced in the Bible, which is referenced in Joshua, they gave him power. Now, when we look at belt, we're going to do a quick little study on the word belt. Belt, a strip of leather or other material worn around the waist or across the chest, especially in order to support clothes or carry weapons. Sword belt, synonymous with sash, girdle, strap, band. Can you loose the bands of Orion? Can you loose that power that's in the beast that's going to give him power to take over the world, essentially, is what I'm seeing. The bands of Orion, I think, are synonymous with with those skins that were given to Nimrod, and when he put them on, he had great power. Remember, we have to go through the Pharaoh. That's our second to last thing. We have to go over the horns of the bull, which I'll go into in the next video, which are, of course, the Hades, the fifth age. So now, who is Nimrod today? Is Nimrod existing today? Some would say that Nimrod is Obama, and there is a good case for that. I have gone back and forth with this study, trying to find out who the beast out of the earth is and who the beast out of the sea is. And everyone would say, oh, well, it's of course Obama and the false prophet. Could very well be. If you look at my study on Revelation 12, there's two women. There's two sets of these things coming. And I believe we're seeing the first set. The bride is in tribulation right now. And the next church, the church of Smyrna, will be in tribulation with the new beast out of the earth and beast out of the sea. So I'm wondering, we have the beast out of the earth, which I believe could be Obama, which could be the mighty hunter. And of course the false prophet being the beast out of the sea. What will be the next one? I have done a couple looks at, could Osama bin Laden come back as the beast out of the sea? I don't know. But I find it very interesting that Nimrod does symbolize, he is the mighty hunter, and he is depicted as Orion in the sky.